How is it going? Hope everyone's doing well, and thank you for tuning in this video. Today I'm here with my pay-per-view review of AEW All Out 2020. Without wasting any time, I was going to jump right into things. Before the main show started, we did have the buy-in, which was 1 hour prior to the event, which featured 2 matches. Joey Janela taking on Serpentico. The match was fine for what it was. Joey Janela got the victory off of the top rope elbow drop, so it's a good victory for him. And then we also had Private Party taking on the Dark Orders 3 and 4, which was a pretty good match, I thought. Started off pretty slow, but towards the ending it started picking up. John Silver, I thought, had a pretty good showing in this match as well. So yeah, I picked up and paced into a pretty good match. Private Party got the victory after the tag team finish to get the win. So that was your buy-in. Nothing really too significant happened on there. Then we go to the main show, which opened up with the tooth and nail match between Dr. Britt Baker taking on Big Swole. Obviously, this was a cinematic match that took place at Dr. Britt Baker's office. And I thought this was an odd choice to start the show. I definitely thought this should have stayed on the buy-in still, but whatever. They started to open the show with this match, and it was very short, but it's entertaining for what it was. Big Swole obviously enters, Dr. Britt Baker's office. Reba's there, which I thought she kind of ruined the match, honestly. I just thought her screaming was so obnoxious, and I thought her just overselling things. I know it's kind of her gimmick and character to be kind of over the top, but I just felt like it was too much for my liking personally, so this is a little nitpick for me personally. But it was very entertaining. They kind of went all over the place, went to the outside, went into the Rolls Royce that Britt Baker's been using. Shoots a DDT on Big Swole in there, but Big Swole completely no-sells it, which I thought was kind of ridiculous, but it was what it was. They try to throw her into the dumpster, which Big Swole fights out of. Chases Dr. Britt Baker back into the office. Britt Baker tries to get her with a syringe, but Swole, counters it into her. Ends up picking her with the injection, takes out Reba, sorry, whatever her name is, puts the anesthesia onto Britt Baker, and Britt Baker passes out, so Big Swole is your winner. For what it was, like I said, it was entertaining, so it really wasn't much of a match. It was very short, too. It was only, the entire cinematic stuff was probably no more than 10 minutes, so it was very, very short and sweet, but I just thought it was an odd choice to open the main pay-per-view, so yeah, Big Swole with the victory. Was as it was, like I said, entertaining nonetheless. Then we go to the first entering match on the main show, which was the Young Bucks taking on Jurassic Express, which honestly, my personal match of the night, I thought this was the most fun match I had. Other than that, both tag teams went out there and tore the absolute house down. The Young Bucks acting very heelish. I can't speak. I apologize. The Young Bucks acting very heelish in this match, I thought was a very nice touch. It was very nice to see that side come at them again. I feel like for a good little while now, we've kind of seen the same Young Bucks match over and over again, and to see him act this way, I thought it was definitely different and definitely thought it brought a new perspective. One spot I really liked was when oh my goodness, I apologize. Jungle Boy, I'm all over the place in this review, I apologize. Jungle Boy was going for the hot tag on Luchasaurus, but Nick Jackson super kicked the shit out of Luchasaurus for the hot tag, which I thought was a great spot there. But then Luchasaurus eventually got the hot tag and ran roughshod and just looked like an absolute star, man. Anytime Luchasaurus is in the ring, I can help but just see a huge star on him, and I really hope AEW capitalizes on that sooner rather than later. I know he has a great deal going on with Jungle Boy, with Jurassic Express. Marco Stunney's kind of just there, but he definitely has huge star potential. Love to see him challenge Brody Lee for the TNT Championship in the future, but yeah, Luchasaurus looked like an absolute beast in this match, doing a suicide dive on the outside. Just looked like an absolute star in this match. Young Bucks towards the end, using their heelish ways to kind of beat the holy hell out of Jungle Boy. Just absolutely took him out of super kicks in the middle of the ring. Hit him with the BEE trigger to secure the win. So Young Bucks hit the huge win over the Jurassic Express. Like I said, very fun match. It was very fast paced. A bunch of huge spots as well. Thought they told a great story. Jungle Boy looked great, especially the source. So I thought everyone looked good. So even though the Young Bucks had the win, I thought everyone was the winner coming out of the match. So yeah, that was a great tag team match. Like I said, personally, my favorite match on the entire show. From there, I'm going to the 21-man Casino Battle Royale. I'm not going to go over everyone and when they came out. Honestly, this match is kind of sloppy. It was kind of all over the place. I really wasn't into it. Of course, the big joker, the wild card in this match, was none other than Matt Sydal making his AEW debut, which I didn't mind, but I just feel like it's kind of let down. And what happens? Matt Sydal immediately goes for a shooting star and nearly dumps himself on the head. I'm not making fun of him for fucking up, because obviously he's fine. It could have ended very badly, but thankfully it didn't. But man, talk about shockmastering your debut. You make your huge debut in AEW, you're part of the 21-man Battle Royal, getting a future title shot potentially, and the very first thing you do in the ring, you immediately fuck up. I don't know. Things aren't looking good for Matt Sydal already, but it was what it was. He debuted. Nothing really noteworthy happened in the match, honestly, besides Brian Cage destroying the shit out of Darby Allin. He put him into a body bag in thumbtacks and just fucking chucked him out of the ring. That, man, Darby Allin, I'd be very surprised if he's wrestling still in 10 years, honestly, with the bumps he takes. Completely honest. But yeah, that was one of the noteworthy spots. End result, came down to Lance Archer, Eddie Kingston, and I forgot who was the other person, but they end up getting thrown out. Eddie Kingston tries to eliminate Archer several times. The Butcher and the Blade try to assist him. Jake Roberts is threatening Eddie Kingston with a snake. Whatever Eddie Kingston doesn't work. Archer ends up just tossing him out. So Lance Archer is your winner of the 21-man Battle Royale. Like I said, the match is kind of sloppy, kind of over the place, kind of a mess, honestly. So I didn't really enjoy it too much. Out of all the Battle Royals they've had, this is probably the worst one they've had. But Lance Archer definitely was the right guy winning it. Definitely want to see him in the, spoiler alert, the AEW World Champion, Jon Moxley, score off. So that should be a great match. They had a great match at Wrestle Kingdom, so looking forward to another one in AEW. So yeah, Lance Archer, normal contender. Like I said, whatever, Battle Royal. Next, we go to the Broken Rules match. Matt Hardy taking on Sammy Guevara. This match is supposed to take place at the stadium, but immediately, like, the match starts and they brawl. Sammy Guevara has the golf cart. They brawl for a bit. They brawl into like the little concession area, and they go up onto this lift. And Matt Hardy tries to do a side effect off it onto the table, but Sammy Guevara fights out of it and spears Matt Hardy off it. And Matt Hardy's head goes right into the concrete. Clears the table. I mean, they break the table, but like their lower half of the body breaks it. So their upper half hits straight concrete. Matt's head just bounces off the concrete. You can tell he's completely out of it. The referee's counting. Poor Aubrey Edwards. You can tell she doesn't want to count to 10 because obviously stipulations if Matt Hardy loses, he must leave AEW. So obviously she doesn't want to like give Sammy Guevara the shoot victory. So she's like trying to purposely slow her count down to give Matt the edge. But Matt obviously is struggling to fucking get up because he's so out of it. He doesn't know where he's at. And poor Sammy Guevara just says fucking picks him up. He's dragging him across the place at this point. He's just dragging him. And him and Matt are just fighting at it. And then eventually Aubrey Edwards just calls it off. Says Matt can't continue, which is completely obvious. He's completely out of it. Puts the X up and everything. But then all of a sudden, like 2 minutes later, because Matt still wanted to fight, they restart the match. You know why? Because they got to do the big finish. They restart the match just to go up a scaffold, just for Sammy Guevara to take a back bump. He just fell off the scaffold and just went through like a table or a platform. And that was it. They risk Matt Hardy's health for a fucking spot. Fucking ridiculous. You can't defend it. If WWE would have done it, they would have gotten tons of shit. Not saying AEW is getting shit, but WWE would have gotten viciously attacked for it. And I would have gave him shit for it too. And AEW, there was no reason for it. I know they're saying that Doc Samson, which ironically enough is the infamous doctor from CM Punk's story with the Z-Packs and everything. Apparently he cleared Matt Hardy to compete after he examined him for like 2 seconds. He cleared him. So AEW is definitely going to get some backlash for that one. I know Rebby Sky was throwing a huge fit on Twitter about it already. So, and rightfully so. I'd be pissed if I was her as well. But yeah, I don't know what the fuck AEW is thinking to continue that just for a spot. So absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, Matt Hardy gets the win. It sucks. I think it could have been a fun match. I think they had a lot planned, but due to obviously the unfortunate beginning, they couldn't really do what they probably were planning to do. So unfortunate, but it is what it is. Just keep Matt Hardy away from AEW, honestly. If this isn't a big enough hint that he needs to wrap it up, then I don't know what it could be for him. So it is what it is. Next we go to the AEW Women's World Championship. Hikaru Shida defending against Thunder Rosa. I would put this right against the Young Bucks Jurassic Express for match tonight, honestly. These two went out there and beat the holy shit out of each other. I thought Thunder Rosa had a great showcase here, targeting the leg of Hikaru Shida, putting it into like the stretch muffler and whatnot, onto the outside. She had an awesome drop kick actually on Shida setting into the barricade, so that was a great spot. But yeah, they were both laying their shit in. A lot of PK kicks. Shida with some nice kicks and some running knees as well. Shida getting hit with the Mikanuchi driver for some near falls. Just an all-around excellent match by both women. And I know obviously Thunder Rosa is in NWA. She's a women's champion there, for Christ's sake. But I'd love obviously to see more of her in AEW, and maybe eventually her being AEW Women's World Champion if Cher makes a jump shift, or if AEW and NWA can make some kind of agreement. So I don't know. Great match. Shida gets the victory after hitting her with the running knee. So yeah, great match. Kudos to both women. Like I said, I thought they had an excellent match, and yeah, that was a lot of fun. From there, I'm going to the 8-man tag team match. Dark Order taking on Natural Nightmares, Scorpio Sky, and Matt Cardona. This match was good. It was fine. but it just didn't belong on the show. It definitely was in a Dynamite caliber show match, or even a dark episode match, honestly. So wasn't much to it. There was some dissension obviously at the end on the Dark Order's part. Looked like it's closed on the end, but Cabana wanted to get the victory for Dark Order. Went for the splash. Dustin Rhodes got out of the way. Did a quick roll up on Colt Cabana, 1, 2, 3. Got the victory for the Natural Nightmares, as well as Scorpio Sky and Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona didn't do a whole lot. He had one hot tag, but that was it after he did like a jump to the outside, and that was pretty much it. But yeah, not much of a match. Like I said, it was still good, but definitely should have belonged to Dynamite. Didn't agree with Dark Order losing as well after the huge angle of Dark Order destroying the Nightmare family. You immediately had them lose. Obviously, like I said, it's adding to the dissension with Colt Cabana, but I don't know. I didn't necessarily agree with it, and obviously Brody Lee was pissed off, and he was throwing a huge fit. So yeah, we'll tune in to Dynamite, obviously, to see how that turns out, but yeah, it was a good match. From there, I'm going to the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. Of course, Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega defending against FTR. The match that I personally was most excited for, the absolute most on this entire show. And I thought it was a great match. Did a live up to the hype that I thought it could have been. No, but I still thought these two teams were out there. Told a great story. Had a very long match. It was about 3 minutes, but I thought they implemented some great old school wrestling into it. Told a great story. I thought FTR did a fantastic job of working on Kenny Omega's leg, whether it was doing some chops, doing some dragon screws in the ropes, whatever it may have been. They did an excellent job on Kenny Omega's legs, I thought. Hangman Adam Page wearing some tights, which I thought was a different change, a nice change. I thought he did great as well. Get a nice hot tag from Kenny. And yeah, I just thought it was an excellent match all around. A lot of near falls as well. There's a lot of times where I thought, Page and Omega were going to retain. But, FTR, they've been such a great team. Just the one spot I really like too, and the simple spot they always do, but I love it, is when Cash Wheeler goes up for the splash and Dax hits the suplex, and then Cash does a beautiful splash to follow up immediately. I thought that was a great spot and it looked absolutely beautiful. But end result came FTR independent pile driver on Adam Page. Kenny Omega breaks it up. They end up hitting another pile driver, but Kenny gets on the ring. Kenny's legs so beat up and hurt. He can't, he's trying to crawl in the ring to break the pin, but he just can't get to it in time. FTR 1, 2, 3 get the win over Hangman Adam Page. FTR are your brand new AEW World Tag Team Champions. Good for them. Good for them, given everything they've been through, this past year. Definitely is well deserved. And it's only bittersweet, personally, because I love Omega and Page as a tag team. So to see it come to an end definitely sucked, but it was still a great match nonetheless. Afterwards, obviously, Omega is very pissed off. He's distraught. Pretty much tells Page to fuck off. Takes off. He's yelling at the Bucks to come with him or stay. He's tired. He needs to clean some stuff up. It's time for some cleaning around here. That's pretty much what Kenny Omega is implying to. So very much hinting more towards his heel turn. And obviously with the Bucks playing as heels pretty much earlier on, who knows? We might get a heel elite sooner rather than later. But Omega takes off. Very interested in this character. I think Kenny Omega is the cleaner / best bout machine. Definitely has been his best work. So I'm very excited to see him transition to a heel and potentially build him up to face Moxley in the future. Who knows? But yeah, great match. Very happy for FTR on winning the tag team titles. I think them with Tully Blanchard will be a great addition to AEW's tag team division. From there, I'm going to the Mimosa Mayhem match between Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy. This match was good. Definitely the weakest of the three, if you ask me. Jericho was just a whole lot of teasing about falling to the Mimosa. Obviously, Jericho's leg actually fell in at one point, which was pretty funny. But they were doing a lot of teasing of Jericho being dumped in or Cassidy being dumped in. So that's pretty much the basis of the match. But I thought Cassidy looked really good. Obviously, he got immediately hit with the Code Breaker, which he kicked out of. Worked over Jericho. Jericho worked over him. Hit some Superman punches. Looked like he was closing in the win. Jericho blocked him in the walls of Jericho. But as he was doing that, he was scooping out some mimosa in a cup and then tossing to Jericho's face. Looking like he was closing the victory in Jericho, but Jericho ends up hitting him with a huge Code Breaker once Cassidy jumps off the second rope. Jericho catches him to a Code Breaker, which was a great spot, great near fall. And Jericho goes to set him up for a Razor's Edge. He's going to Razor Edge him off the second rope into the Mimosa, but Orange Cassidy fights out of it, hits an orange punch for one, and then hits a second one. Jericho falls right into the Mimosa, so Orange Cassidy is your winner because Chris Jericho fell into the Mimosa. So yeah, like I said, overall I thought it was a good match. The weakest of the three, but it was entertaining, it was fun, and watching Jericho take a dip in that Mimosa was definitely worth the while. So One thing I didn't like, though, I'll mention, was Jericho's promo. I did not like it at all because Jericho was like, this isn't a feud. This isn't, we have nothing against each other. This is an experiment to see if I can make Orange Cassidy a star. It's like, why would you admit to the audience, like, yeah, there's no beef between us, even though all the weeks you guys have had, you've had beef. All of a sudden now it's like, oh yeah, that was nothing. That was just me, playing it up to see if you guys would believe this guy could be a star or not. Did not like Jericho's promo at all prior to the match, so I thought that was I thought that was just absolutely stupid on his part to say that, but it is what it is. But yeah, the match, like I said, was still good. And then, of course, with the main event, which was for the AEW World Championship, Jon Moxley defending against MJF. This was a great match, and honestly, you could have argued that this was the match of the night, and I wouldn't argue against you. Started off very slow, I thought. It was very technical. Some, Moxley kind of chasing MJF around, kind of toying with him a little bit. But then a match picked up, and I thought MJF did a great job. Showed some color. He got busted open pretty good. He had some great wrestling. He had some great near falls as well. There were some points where I legitimately thought MJF was closing on the victory on Jon Moxley in the championship. And I thought Wardlow did a great job in his place as well. And they just overall had a great main event. At some points, though, I did feel like it did go on a little too long. It wasn't the longest match. Didn't go as long as a tag team title match by any means, but it was still a pretty long match for the most part. I feel like they could have cut 10 minutes or so, and it could have been equally as good, if not a little bit better, just because it was shorter. But I still thought they had a great main event. I thought MJF, I'm not as high as him as most people. I don't think he's this huge, mega, amazing star as a lot of people do, but I see the potential, and every time he wrestles, especially his match with Jungle Boy at Double or Nothing, that was a great match, and I feel like MJF, he's progressing, in the ring still. So, and he had a great match here, and still some more years down the line, I think he'll definitely be an excellent guy in the business. So, you can definitely still tell he's getting there. He's still getting there, but great stuff, and love the finish as well. Obviously, Moxley's doing anything he could to beat MJF. Whether it's doing the Orange Crush, or locking in the chokehold. He's doing pretty much anything he could to beat MJF, and MJF was trying to squeezle his way into any winning predicament as he possibly could. Referee was blindsided after, referee was blindsided, or he's dealing with Wardlow, I should say. I apologize. He was blindsided at one point when MJF pulled him in, the low blow. Moxley tried to roll him up, it didn't work. But Wardlow ended up getting on the apron to strike the referee. MJF realizes he has a Dynamite ring, so he's going to use that on Moxley, but Moxley sees him pick it up, he's like, nah. Hey, I see the referee's back's turned, so fuck you. Hits him with the Paradise Shift, which is obviously for this match is banned, but referee wasn't paying attention. Moxley hits MJF with it. Referee turns around. 1, 2, 3. Jon Moxley retains the AEW World Championship. I thought it was a clever finish to an awesome match. And obviously afterwards, Moxley's like, hey, I don't know what happened. I just beat him. I don't know how, but I beat him. So I thought he played an excellent job playing the confused, like, I don't know what I did. Role afterwards, but yeah, like I said, that was a great main event. Legitimizes MJF even more. I know this is like his first big loss, really. Actually, I think it's his first singles loss in AEW, period. So, that says a lot. But, nothing wrong with your first loss being the main event of your biggest show or second biggest show. I'm not sure which is bigger, Double or Nothing or All Out. But nothing wrong with losing in the main event in a world title match, after being there for, a year and a half. So, no complaints at all about MJF losing, and obviously Jon Moxley stares down Lance Archer, his next contender, flips him off, which I thought was hilarious to end the show. So Moxley and Archer, they had a great Texas Death Match at Wrestle Kingdom for New Japan earlier this year, so I'm very excited to see them recreate some chemistry in AEW. But overall, for All Out to conclude this show, I thought it was a good show, but it's very consistent. It had that great tag match, and then it went down, then you had an average match, then a bad match, then you had a great match, and then you had an average match, then a great match, then kind of a whatever match. I just thought it was a very odd show. I'd say this is by far AEW's worst pay-per-view, but just because it's their worst pay-per-view doesn't mean it was bad by any means. I don't think it was a bad show. I still thought it was a good show, but I just didn't think it was great. Didn't think it was AEW's best work they've done, but it was still a solid show nonetheless. No complaints really from me. You had 3 great matches, or 4. I don't really remember. I know the Young Bucks Jurassic Express match is great. I thought the women's title match is great. Actually, yeah, all the title matches. So all the title matches plus the Young Bucks and Jurassic Express match. So you had 4 great matches in my opinion. So you can't go wrong with that. But yeah, overall AEW All or Nothing, not All or Nothing. AEW All Out 2020. Overall, like I said, I thought it was a good, solid show nonetheless. Not AEW's best pay-per-view, but it wasn't a bad show by any means. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please feel free to leave a like below. And of course, next time, I'll see you guys. And thank you guys for watching the video.